guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Liz and this is Let's Get Lizicle, where we do everything card making. And today I did the thing that I said I might do. But I made my own paper pattern pack, which I'm super excited about. So this will be a digital download in my Etsy shop. You get 6 prints, which we'll go through in a second. And I'm just going to go through like how it looks on different mediums. Right now I have them printed out on like a photo glossy paper on this is a 5x7. It's the same scale, it's just printed on photo paper versus an 8.5 by 11. And again, there's 6 prints. I try to give a variety, but also make it festive because it's, you know, Sassy Santa. So what's included in the pack is this cute Sassy Santa print. And it's just like the happy face and the grumpy face. This coal one. Now originally I had a light gray background and then the darker gray coal on top, but I decided to do it as just the coal. This one I will ensure to provide a transparent PNG for if you want to add the box behind it in like Word. If you're using that program to print, then you can put a solid color box of color on the bottom and then it'll print the gray on top. I did lighten these a bit and made it about 10% lighter. This was what it originally looked like. It's a little too in your face. I could probably go lighter than this, but then you can't do this technique where you print it on colored cardstock. So this is on Simon's, I think 80-pound fog colored cardstock. It's a little bit more on the yellow side, which I don't love. You guys know I love cool grays. So it's a bit better to print the cool gray box in the background. But if you have a nice light gray cardstock, you can print this on here. This will still show up on here. It'll just be a little bit more tonal. I haven't tried it yet, but I'll maybe print it on the back of this one. That's what I did with this one. So again, it was darker. Now it's lighter. So it'll look great. So that's that one. I did a holiday plaid, which is fun. It's a good background. This one and the Santa one I also printed on hammer mill cardstock. So you can see that there is a color difference. I do prefer the color saturation on the photo paper just because cardstock, like regular cardstock, I think the ink like seeps into the cardstock a little bit more, whereas like photo paper, it sits on top of the cardstock. It's not sinking into anything and dulling out any colors. I don't hate this background though. I like that it's a little bit more muted. On something like this, you might have to use like a layer of vellum if you want to tone it down a bit. But otherwise you could just print it on cardstock and it kind of does that for you in a sense. And then same with this one. Again, like these are the exact same colors printed. They're just printed on different mediums. So obviously it turns out a much brighter on the photo paper, but I also like this because again, like this one's a busier pattern of the ones that I have. So you might want to, if you were going to print it on photo paper, still tone it down, maybe like leave a border or something, or you just leave it as is, add the naughty or nice sentiment to it and leave it at that. Like I feel like a few of these prints are good for just, this is the focal point of the card, you add a sentiment and it's done, quick and simple. And I have a multicolored candy stripe. So I did the green and the red. And that one's that one. And then I did a Merry Christmas repeat on the angle on a red background with the white, which is cute. Again, like this is another one where I would probably make this the focal point and maybe add a small image of the Santa or something like that on here. And then maybe one of the sub-sentiments or the sub-sentiment on the inside. But again, like another cute and simple print. I didn't print all of these on the 8.5 by 11 because I'm running low on cardstock, but this is the last print. And it's the gift boxes from the set. I just colored them in with colors that coordinated with the collection. And originally I had them on an angle. These were my ones where I played around with. That's why I'm out of photo paper. But I was leaning more towards this orientation just because then you can then cut out strips of this and add it to a card. And then you can get multiple cards out of one sheet of paper. if you just want to add this as like an accent or something, or if you wanted to make a stripy background and you printed like this and then you had other like cardstock colors to go with it, and then make kind of like a stripy background. But I had this option, and then I had this with the lighter colored background, which I don't love, so I added the lighter color into the print instead. So this has the same candy stripe as this one, but it is in the lighter green instead of the darker green. So if you wanted to, you could print out this and then cut a strip to put it across with the presents, and then, you know, play around with that. So I'll probably like use these on a card eventually. And then this was my Santa before I fixed him, I think. Yes. So originally it lined up so that all the happy Santas were in one row, all the grumpy Santas were in another one. And then when I changed it, I had it so it alternated each row. So you're like grumpy, happy, grumpy, happy, happy, grumpy, happy, grumpy. And then if you look at it on the diagonal, it's grumpy, grumpy, happy, happy. So I don't know. This pattern's cute though. But again, I'll probably use those up at some point. I did try a darker charcoal. The only problem with this print is it doesn't really coordinate with the rest of the collection, which again is why I kind of moved to this instead, because if you lay these out, which I can do here, this is how I have it. This one's a little bit smaller, but this and the present one, this. So this is the paper pack. I feel like that looks a bit better than that. That just kind of like dulls it down. So again, I think we'll just do that. And yeah, so these will be available for download in my Etsy shop as of posting this video. And again, I'm like super excited for this. So today we're gonna make some cards with these prints, and I'm gonna make the shape Santa. We're just gonna do it all, because why not? So I will maybe, I'm gonna do this later. I'm just doing this while I have the time right now, but I think what I'll do is I will switch over to my computer and show you guys how you can add the box behind this in Word, and then we can print out that, and then I can show you how I like size up the Santa and everything as well. And then we will make a few cards with these ones. I probably won't make one for every print, but I will make them with some of them. So I will move over to VoiceOver and get started on that. Hey guys, so I'm just gonna go through how to set up your files. We're just gonna open up a new blank Word document. This is the easiest program to use if you don't have access to like Illustrator or something like that. Like I usually use Illustrator. Actually, it was a good thing that I used Word, because I actually found out that my images are only saved as 72 DPI, and you should always save at least 300 to 600 even, just because it allows for more ability to blow up. So whoever has ordered my Sassy Santa digital stamp, I will send you better PNG files. I'll just email it to you. I think I know at least 2 or 3 of you who have done it, so I have your emails already. I'll do it, and I will get that done this weekend. And anyway, for now we are just gonna go into insert pictures from this device, and then I'm gonna go find where I saved them. I have like a folder for all my stamps and dies and digital stamps, a new folder for my 300 one, and then I want the face and Santa. These are transparent PNGs, so you won't see a white box around it. Also, I use dark mode on my computer, so it looks probably a bit different than if you're using regular mode. Dark mode's just easier on my eyes because I work on a computer all day. But what I'm going to do is insert my pictures. I'm going to make sure I right click, arrange. Oh, I can't do it yet. Okay, so we're gonna click this little box here that pops up, and we want the image to be in the front, and then this one we want to be in the back. So make sure you click that for both. For this one, we want to make sure that we select both. So click on one, hold your control button, click on the other one, it will select both. And then we can just, if you go to picture format and then you want to go align, and we want to align top and then align right, and it will put the face where it needs to be. That's what I was talking about on Monday's video for aligning these two items. And then you want to click on the face and make sure you bring it to the front, because then when you group them, which again, we're gonna click on one image and then hold control, click on the other image, right click, and then go group. So now they're together, doesn't matter where I click, but you wanna make sure you bring that to the front. I did try grouping it off camera, and it just puts whatever image imported second onto the top as a default. So we wanna make sure the face is on top when you group it. When you go to group it, if the angry face or the sassy face, whatever you want to call it. If you want judgy Santa to be on the bottom, just make sure you bring the head to the front, or you can right click and send to the back, the main body. But you want to make sure you do that, because if you group it and then judgy Santa comes back, then it's not in the right orientation, if that makes sense. And then for the image size, we want to make this 5.25 inches in height, and then, oops, okay, that's a good thing there. If you want to make sure that your aspect ratio is locked, you want to click on this button here, which gives you more settings. Make sure you lock your aspect ratio, click OK, and then when I change this to 5.25, not centimeters though, I want inches. Inches. So you can just type in the inch mark, which is like the quotation mark, on your keyboard. It will automatically convert it to centimeters in here. It works like that on a lot of programs, which is great. That way you're not having to go into your settings and redo any kind of measurements or stuff. I've actually been starting to do that in my Illustrator program as well, because sometimes I do want to use centimeters, sometimes I want to use inches, sometimes I want to use millimeters. It really depends on the project. I am in Canada, but most of the time I do use inches because I am a pattern maker by trade, and I work with inch measurements at work. So for the most of the time I do like to work in inches, not centimeters. My boyfriend gets mad at me because I will even convert centimeters to inches so I know how much snow it's going to snow. So it'll be like, oh, it's gonna, be 5 centimeters of snow. Oh, I'm like, oh, we're getting 2 inches of snow. He's like, it's centimeters. And I'm like, no, I like to convert it. It's just easier for me to comprehend. I'm not used to the centimeters for measurements. But anyway, that's just the way I work. And then we're gonna zoom out. So this is sized to 5 inches, and whatever width that is, will automatically do it as long as you aspect ratio it. And then this, I am just going to move it over to this side just so that it wastes less ink when I go to print it. And I'm gonna just move it here. And then for this particular image, I am just going to print it as is. I'm just going to make sure it is 5.25, that's right. Okay, yeah. So, so this is going to be approximately an A2 card. It's probably going to be more narrow. I think when I scaled one up earlier, it was basically 4x2, so it's like a 2-to-1 aspect ratio. So it'll be like 5 by 2.5 inches wide, which should be, yeah, that's probably about right. Again, I'm not used to centimeters, so that looks right to me anyway. So it's going to be a narrow card, but it will be the same height as a A2, so you can throw this into an A2 envelope. So what you want to do is go File and then Print, and then print this out. And then when you go to cut it, if you're doing it on like a Brother Scan and Cut, which is what I will do, I will cut this Santa out, like I'll scan it through my machine, cut it out, and then I will cut it out again as if it's been printed there, just to get the backing for it. So I will probably cut it out of the cardstock, rotate the cardstock and then cut him out again just in blank white, just so that I can make that card base. But anyway, I'm just going to print this and then we'll go on. So for now, I will leave that. I'm going to... Okay, so I'm just going to open up another blank document because for some reason my stuff was getting lost. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the coal background, and I'm going to insert a shape. You can pick rectangle, square, whatever. Height, we want it to be 11 inches by 8.5 inches, so it's the size of a piece of paper. We're going to align it in the center and then align it in the middle. So this takes up a full sheet of paper. We're going to fill the shape in with a gray. I don't know if that one's dark enough yet, but we'll figure it out. And then we're going to insert picture and then pick my coal background. Because I'm working in dark mode, I want this option. This is the transparent PNG. It might be hard to tell on your computer, so you could just also rename this as coal background transparent if you work with your regular like white screen. That way you know the difference. So I'm going to pick that one. I'm going to insert. So we want to bring this one on top. And then I'm going to want my background to be a bit lighter, maybe. So we're going to go insert. No, sorry. Click on the background, shape format, fill. Just we'll do it in off-white. This one's a bit hard to see on the screen. So this one we also want to set at 11 inches by, hang on, I don't want to lock the aspect ratio. And then 8.5 inches. And then we are going to line it up in the center, in the middle as well. And again, this is a bit harder to see. How do I do layers, picture format, arrange? So if I want, I'm gonna send this one to the back so I can work on this square because I feel like I want to change the color. Maybe I'll do it a bit darker and then I will send this to the back. That's a bit better. I think these colors are a bit, I mean, this one's fine. You can see like it looks a bit whiter. If you want to do the gray on gray method, I mean, you can make it as dark as you want. If you wanted to, you can make it really dark so that they stand out, or you can make it lighter so it's a little bit more tonal. Right now, you can keep it, I mean, if you're keeping it white, you would just print the JPEG version, or we can pick like a different tone of gray. Maybe this one works best actually. Okay, so now that this is done, we're gonna go file, print, if you're ready to print. My printer always prints a white border around the edge. I can't do a borderless that I know of on this printer for an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. I can do it for a 4 by 6 or a 5 by 7 or something smaller, but it doesn't allow me to do it, I think, for full sheets. I would have to look into this a bit more. I think I've tried looking and I can't seem to find that as an option. But if you're not printing it at home and you are taking it out to print, you want to save the file as a PDF because they can take these documents at Staples or FedEx or wherever else you're going to get it printed. And then you could just name the file whatever you want. I'll just leave this as a doc 2 and then I would go save. I already have one saved, so I'm just going to replace that one. And then it's going to open up this PDF to show you that it is edge to edge borderless. And then you can get them to print this for you. No. Okay. Anyway, so that's it for this portion. You've seen me color Santa a million times, so I'm probably going to color this off of camera and just show you how to assemble the card. It's very quick and simple. And then I have other options for the other prints that I will do a few of on camera, and then I'll just show you the ones that I made off camera. So we'll go over to that now. Hey guys, so apologies for such a long video for today, but I wanted to get in as much as I could. If I was going to do the shaped Santa card again, I would probably give it a 0.08 border instead of the 0.04 that I did. Also, I'm not going to glue this one together because I realized I cut it out of a scrap piece of paper. So I'm just going to show you, I put like a hinge on the top of it just from like basically where the top of his fur sits on his hat there, and went across. It's probably about an inch, 3/4 of an inch-ish of a flap that I would leave, add a little bit of glue to that, glue it to the back, and then you have your shaped card. I might do something else with this. But for now, it's not a card. It's just a big Santa that I did out of the cardstock, and it could potentially be a shaped card. You could actually probably do this slimline style, like, or mini slimline if you wanted to make it even bigger. It's kind of more suited for, I guess, like a slimline or a mini slimline because of the ratio he's in. But you can play around with the digital stamp however you want. And then for these, I'm just gonna make a quick couple of cards using the photo paper that I printed on. The caveat for printing on photo paper is it is pretty sensitive to scratches, and if you get glue outside of where you want it, it doesn't come off and it could potentially smudge the ink. So if your printer allows, I would probably do like a semi-gloss cardstock instead, or get them laser printed again over at like Staples or FedEx or whoever does printing. I know a lot of my viewers are in the US, so I'm in Canada, but so I would probably go to Staples, or I don't know if Walmart does full sheets of paper. They probably do. I used to get my business cards done there. But yeah, so I would probably again get them laser printed elsewhere, or if you're pretty neat and tidy with your crafting, then the photo paper is fine. I bought some matte photo paper to try, so I will do that. I did like full sheet ones, and they just came in yesterday, so I will try doing that as well and see how that goes. But again, it's photo paper, so it's going to have the same issues because I am printing on an inkjet printer. But yeah, so I decided to keep it quick and simple. The Merry Christmas background, I just added a large Sassy Santa to. I think I scaled him up to about 4 inches in height. I think this is the one I was talking about earlier where I did like, it's about 4 by 2. And then that's all I'm doing there. I did him green because I didn't want to do him red on red, but when I had the big red Santa kind of like laying on it on my desk, it did look good. So you could still do Santa in this traditional red on top of the red background, and it will look good. So maybe I'll do that one in like the future or something. And then this present or gift background, I am going to mat on some silver cardstock. This is just Michael's Recollections gold or silver foil. Sorry, the cardstock. I'll leave a little bit of a border, and then I did a separate sentiment that I kind of just typed out on my computer. I found a couple of fun fonts that went together. And it says, "I come bearing gifts." So I'm just gonna, again, I printed that out on the white cardstock. I did it a mixture of like a scripty font and then like a tall skinny one. Well, I made it tall and skinny. It was just a thinner font, and I kind of stretched it out a little bit, but it worked. I like it when there are mixed sentiments where there's a bit of scripty font and then like a tall skinny one, or just like a big bold one instead. It's good to mix them up. It just gives it a different look than trying to do the same text for everything, which I've done for a couple of my stamp sets where I've mixed fonts, and it's fun to play around with. So just whatever fonts you have available on your computer are fine. There are sources where you can find free ones, or I usually get mine on Creative Fabrica because I do have an account there, and I pay like $10 a month or whatever and download as much as I want, which I do mostly for fonts. And then I haven't used any of the images in a while, but I, again, mostly use it for fonts. So I'm just going to pop that up on a little bit of 1mm foam tape, and then that's this card done. You could definitely mass produce these types of cards very quickly, especially because we're letting the pattern paper do the work. And then I just have these other ones that I need to finish off, which I'll do off camera, and I'll just post them on my Instagram and Facebook next week. But yeah, that's pretty much our card for today, guys. Or cards. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're interested in my prints, head on over to my Etsy and you can purchase the downloads. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe because I'd love to have you here. And until next time, thanks guys. Bye.